This is your first title fight. It's a big moment in your life and career. Do you feel anything different? This isn't just a regular fight anymore.
My biggest fear for a while was dying without knowing how good I truly was, without knowing my true potential. And now I get to answer that question.
Wow.
It's funny. I'm going to be honest. I'm more dangerous in this fight than I've ever been. Because there is no losing for me, bro. There is no losing in this fight for me. Because at the end of the day, I get the answer. Either I was good enough or I wasn't. That's all I ever wanted. The time I stepped in. To just know.
Man, you're giving me chills. That's incredible stuff.
All I ever wanted was to answer that question. And January 21st it'll be answered.
Now that's the attitude that's missing in boxing today. What happened to the people who wanted to take on these challenges and these fights just to find out if they could actually hack it, if they was actually good enough? Could they actually have ever been on that level? Is there any fighters out there that still want to answer that question about themselves? Yes, the paycheck is good. Yes, the notoriety is good. The cameras, all that stuff, that's cool. But what happened to that inner peace of yourself that wanted to find out, how good am I? How far can I take it? Is this man better than me? I want to know. I want to find out. And if I failed, at least I know. Am I a fool to think that that exists in boxing today? Am I a fool for wanting that or thinking that there are some fighters out here who has that mentality? Because if it is, it's hard to see in the sport of boxing. This is why UFC, as far as the entertainment factor, as far as fan pleasure, soars over boxing. Soars. And yeah, we can name a lot of things. UFC being the only, shop in town. We could put it on a lot of things. But at the end of the day, the best fight the best over there. And you never hear UFC fans complain about what fights they didn't get. You ever notice that? That's something that when I talk about combat sports, I don't hear in the UFC circles. I don't hear them complain about fights that they never got. If anything, if there's a fight that's hot, it gets served up quick. This is one of the reasons why the sport is so much better than boxing. And like I said, you could chalk it up to UFC being the only place around and having a monopoly on the game. But how about let's look at the mentality of the fighters? See, maybe it's not all about UFC being the biggest platform out there for mixed martial arts. Maybe it's also a little bit about the mentality that these fighters got. You got to have a fighter's mentality, especially for what they fight for. Little next to nothing. 9 grand here, 10 grand here, 12 grand here. The UFC champion is definitely not paid how he's supposed to. I even seen a post where they was talking about how the ring girls get paid more than the fighters. They definitely need to correct that over there. But one thing is for sure, they're not short of the mentality over there. They're not ducking. They're not looking to build this and not lose their O and blase splee and this, that, and the third. Stylebender just took a loss. And I think he became more popular in taking a loss in the fashion in which he accepted his loss. Same thing can happen in boxing. It's just too much theatrics at the end of the day. But this is the mentality these fighters need to have. This is the mentality that Eroll Spence need to have. He said he wanted undisputed. He said he's not the best yet, but he wants to be the best. If that's really true, he'd be sounding like this guy. He would be moving familiar for a person that speaks about becoming undisputed. Instead, it's looked at as nothing, laughable. I'm going up to 160. I'm leaving the weight class. I'm not concerned. I don't care. Why don't I go the easy route? You're across the street. You don't sell. I fight on Showtime. I this, I that. All these other excuses not to challenge yourself. Yeah, we the fans want to see it, but what about you? Don't you want to know? Or do you even care? Or is it just the money? Because if it is that, just say so. I'll accept it for how it is. But don't dress and paint yourself up as somebody who has the ambition to be the best and make a legacy when you're really not about that, because nobody's forcing you to say that. If you're about the money, be about the money. Be a money fighter. Have that be your persona. At least we got a firm understanding of where you stand as far as how you look at yourself in the sport. At least we understand that. But don't pretend you want to fight the best. Don't pretend you want undisputed when you really don't want it. And that's all I got to say on that. Because when I seen this, I was like, this is a mentality that's obviously foreign in boxing. Probably almost eradicated. Because what I see right now is the fighters who have this kind of mentality, these are the fighters that don't get the fights. These are the fighters that get pushed around and shoved around and forced to fight these guys and forced to fight that guys. And they forever stuck in this bubble because you're going to have people constantly saying they ain't fighting nobody, but they're not encouraging them to take on, but they're not encouraging their favorite fighters or the fighters with the big names to fight the guy who's trying to prove himself. How you ever going to know what he is if you don't get him in the ring with somebody that is? Then you can see, was he just blowing smoke? Or was this kid really that talented? Let's find out. And I think at the end of the day, we don't want to know anymore. In boxing, you really don't want to know who the best is. It's clear now. You guys really don't want to know. You want to pretend. You want the theatrics. You want the back and forth. But you really don't want to find out who actually is the best. And that's in our human nature, to find out what is and who is the best. We do it with cars. We want to know what's the fastest car. We want to know who the strongest guy is. We want to know who the fastest guy is. We want to know who the toughest guy is. We want to know who's the best swimmer. It's in our nature. We want to find out what is and who is the best. This is why we have competitions. Because it's in our nature to want to reach that level and find out what is what. So what I'm asking the boxing world, do you still really want to know who's the best fighter out there? If so, turning down fights and shucking away fights and telling somebody they don't deserve this and they don't deserve that is the opposite of that. You should embrace competition. You should embrace your fighter being challenged, because it's another opportunity to prove that he is what he really said he is and what you guys say he is. Just my opinion. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.
My opponent ain't had no loss in this record. He just got one. What's up, Tarver? Matter of fact, I might fight Antonio Tarver because he deserves a shot quicker.
Because he's standing 9 feet away over there, right?
That's right. I'll fight.
Antonio Tarver's an awfully big light heavyweight.
I don't give a damn. That was a big one I fought. Now I don't give a damn. Woo!
Hey, one more thing. Before the 7th round, your trainer.
And Danny Garcia, who do you want next?
Oh, I'm chilling on my ranch. I just bought a new ranch. I got a couple of horses. I'm getting some more horses, get some chickens, some more cows, and I'm gonna chill with my kids and my family and enjoy my time. And I got to decide when I'm gonna come back, and then hopefully be in the summertime. But right now, I'm just gonna enjoy my family time. I had a long